feel like I should be exposing my bag.
Moment in her life in 1924, she heard Otto Rank speak in Atlantic City.
Respectful debate, but not just hollow debate too. Informed, disciplined, adequate debate. And that also goes for the kind of articles published in QS Study.
Through no fault of its own, last year Ozone has lost a $100,000 federal grant that it had been receiving continuously for 40 years.
They argue for the usefulness of qualitative methods in developing, adapting, and evaluating social work interventions.
But there's so much else that we want to know. How do we know they've gotten better? And when the scales say one thing, but we have qualitative data that says something else, reconciling that. And so that's some of the ways that I've used qualitative data to kind of round out and give more depth, but also to improve it. And so we use not just the clients, but also the practitioners, the students who are implementing the model. What worked, what didn't work, you know, and how to use that information to make the next round better.
So we can't turn on a filter and drink a glass of water and work the moment and feel assured that you won't be sick from it.
Is I started having extreme compassion for the survivors. That it wasn't about me anymore.
Thank you for talking about the spiritual connection, because that has sustained me, it's drawn me to the work.
For those of us that were clinicians and social workers before we came back to school, we knew about self-care in that environment, but you don't think about it in academia and in research.
It was a project designed to bridge research and practice.
And I do action research with that team of youth.
Okay. My name is Annika Larsen. I come from Bergen.
This conference just feels so different than most that I go to. The difference is that people are very real and they're very passionate about what they're doing. And there's very respectful discourse about what's going on. And that's very unusual in our culture right now. How's that?
That's great.
I think it's great to see people from so many different interests in terms of, I mean, just in social work, and doing so many different interesting research things, and also about standing on the shoulders of giants is just bang on.
I wanted to look at the context. I thought that was really important, and as well as the relationship between the interviewer and the child.
And so I was asking discursively, what does it mean to be a victim? And what does it mean to be a survivor?
They had to endure or take the treatment that is being given to them. And did they find it beneficial? Some of them said yes, because they felt it empowered them. But majority of them felt, well, it infringed on their rights, did not give them the ability to make decisions with regard to their treatment.
So the public became aware of domestic violence and sexual assaults from feminist uproar in the late 60s.
The special needs of rural areas in relationship with drugs and domestic violence are areas needing more understanding.
What the research has shown is more specialized and informed helpers are needed to respond to intimate partner violence in rural areas.
And I'm thinking about funding, but I didn't quite think of funding, and I realized
What you do, making us aware of both our historical roots and qualitative methods and the way you're all taking it into the future. And I think of things like, you know, the session today on applying it to intervention development and understanding that. So it's a thrill to have you here. I hope you are enjoying yourself. And I just wanted to say hi on behalf of the school. So,
thank you.
Friend Silly?
Oh yeah.
Friend Silly, I still know Sergeant. Yeah.
Nathan Perkins. You can choose any of the prizes here.
Jennifer Jetner.
Great.
First time in my whole life. It's going to be big shoes to fill, but I'm really hoping that I can also continue to function in the way Roy has and Ian has about developing scholarship and scholars through their careers and through their lifetimes and creating those kinds of opportunities. So thank you so much.
When I was a doctoral student at Boston College and only learning quantitative, the one advocate, the one voice in social work education
That's right.
for qualitative research was Roy.
He said, I don't know why you didn't submit.
I know it. I was mad with her.
I was busy submitting to research and social work practice and children and youth services. And so, yes, no.
Because
No.
what you're describing really is a perfect fit to the kind of things that we were looking for.
Absolutely, and I was mad at her, and and she set me up. She set me up to take revenge, and I didn't, because I was one of her evaluators for tenure. So I think she's wonderful, and I couldn't have been more enthusiastic about her candidacy to be a tenured professor.
Of my life, and it brought more infections. And there are medicines that are available to treat these diseases, but they're extremely expensive and they're often very difficult to access. Similar to what Paula was saying with the location of the community, it's about, similar to the communities that we're working, it's about 5